guys, welcome back to another math lesson with HeyCare Math and Science. In this video, we'll be starting a new topic, statistics, and this first lesson will be about interpreting graphs and tables. So by the end of this video or lesson, we should all know the meaning of the terms numerical, categorical, discrete, and continuous data, be able to interpret column graphs, line graphs, and pie charts, and finally be able to interpret data presented in a table. So let's just pause the video here and just take a couple of minutes to write the learning intentions and success criteria down into our exercise books. So to start the lesson off today, let's go through the first success criteria, and that's to know the meaning of the terms numerical, categorical, discrete, and continuous data. So these are all different types of data, and numerical data is data that can be measured. So this includes time, height, weight, amount, and so on. So numerical data can be either, there's two types of numerical data. The first is discrete. This means they can only be particular numerical values. And this includes like the number of students in a class, because you can't have half a student, it needs to be a whole number, or the results of rolling a dice. A dice only has the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, so the data can only have very particular numerical values. It can't be any number in the world. Continuous, on the other hand, can be any number, any numerical value in a range. So example, a person's height. This can be any value within the range of human heights, not just certain fixed heights. You can go into decimals, you can go to halves, quarters, 3/4, thirds, etc. Time in a race as well, that can be any number within a range. And weights, you can get thirds, halves, and so on once again. So these are examples of continuous, and discrete once again can only have very particular numerical values. So another type of data is categorical data, and this is non-numerical data, so it doesn't involve numbers. That can be grouped into categories. So an example is age group. So we have age groups, say 1 to 10, 11 to 20, and so on. Year level, so how many students in year 7, how many students in year 8, how many students in year 9. That's also categorical. Hair color. There's an example of a graph on the bottom left here of hair color. We have black, brown, red, blonde, and so on. And eye color, that's another example of categorical data. So we group them into brown eyes, green eyes, black eyes, blue eyes, and so on. So once we've collected the categorical or numerical data, we can represent all this data as a graph or a table. And common types of graphs include a column graph, which looks something like this. They're all divided into columns. A pie chart, this kind of looks like a pie or a pizza, so it's called a pie chart. Or they are also often called sector graphs. We also have line graphs. This one on the left is linear, so that linear just means a straight line. And the one on the right here is non-linear because it is not in a straight line. And we also have divided bar graphs, like on the bottom right here. Alright, now moving on, let's go through some example questions. So this column graph represents the annual income of 5 different people. So A, what is Aravin's annual income? So we have Aravin on the very left here, and we can see his column here, or bar, goes up to $60,000. So Aravin's annual income, so question A, would be $60,000. And let's go to question B. What is the difference between Jamie's income and Ashdev's income? So we have Jamie here and Ashdev here. We know Jamie is in between 80 and 100,000, so that's 90,000. And 90,000. And to find the difference, we subtract. Ashdev's income we know is 40,000 because the bar goes up to 40,000. So we subtract those two. If you subtracted it, let's do a subtraction over here. 90,000 minus 40,000, 0 minus 0, 0, 0 minus 0, 0, 0, and 0, and 9 minus 4 gives you 5. So our answer here will be $50,000. And remember, if the question is words, make sure you write your answer in words. So we would write the difference between Jamie and Ashdev's income is $50,000, and see who earns the most. So this would just simply be the data or person with the highest column or bar here, and that will be Stefan. So Stefan earns the most. So make sure you are answering your answers in words if the question is also in words. Alright guys, so now it's your turn. Let's pause the video here and have a go at these questions, and just unpause it when you're ready to go through them with me. Alright, so let's have a read through these questions to start us off. It says the column graph above represents the annual income of 5 different people. What is Fong's annual income? So let's start with question A. What is Fong's annual income? His bar goes up to $80,000. So Fong's annual income is $80,000. His bar goes up to the 80,000 mark. And question B, what is the difference between Stefan's income? So Stefan is on the right here, and Jamie's income. Jamie is on the second left one here. So Stefan is at 100,000. And to find the difference, we would subtract, and Jamie is at 90,000. So let's do 100,000 minus 90,000. That'll be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And you can't do 0 minus 9, so we'll take it from there. 10 minus 9 becomes 1, so the difference is $10,000. And see who earns the least, so that will be the bar or column that is the lowest, and that will be Ash Dev. Give yourself a tick if you got all these 3 correct. Alright, so now we'll be moving on to pie or sector graphs. And let's start with this question here. A car owner graphs the amount of money spent per year on car related expenses. So question A, what is the largest expense each year? We can see petrol takes up the biggest part of the circle or pie. So petrol will be this person's largest expense per year on car related expenses. Go to question B, what percentage of the car's expenses is devoted to maintenance? So we have maintenance over here, and this will be 1/4 of a circle, and we know 1/4, we've been learning about percentages and decimals in the last topic. 1/4 is the same as 25%, so this means 25% of the car's expenses is devoted to maintenance. And let's go to question C. If the car owner spends $3,000 per year on petrol, what is the total amount spent on the car each year? So this question might seem pretty hard just looking at it, but it's actually much easier than you think. So half of the cost is spent on petrol, so this is $3,000. So if half of this is $3,000, we know that the other half is also going to be $3,000 in total. So all that added together is going to be $3,000. So if you add these together, we can just simply multiply the petrol cost by 2. Let's do that. 3,000 times 2. So the total cost on his car per year would be $6,000. Alright guys, now it's your turn. Let's pause the video here and have a go at these by yourself, and just unpause them when you're ready to go through them with me. Alright, so let's start off by reading the question. The question says the pie chart on the previous page, I've just added the image over here for you, shows the amount of money spent per year on car related expenses. What is the smallest expense per year? So this will be the one with the smallest section of the pie. So question A, we can see insurance takes up the smallest amount of space. So insurance will be the smallest expense per year. What percentage of the car's expense is devoted to petrol? So we can see petrol takes up half the circle, and half equals 50%. So we know that 50% is devoted to the car's expenses in 1 year. And question C, if the car owner spends $1,200 or $1,200 per year on maintenance, what is the total amount spent on the car each year? So this section here, so 1/4 of the circle, or 25%, that is $1,200. And we know there are 4 quarters in one whole. So we can multiply this value by 4 to get the full amount spent on 1 year. So we have $1,200 is 1/4. So if you multiply that by 4, you will get 4 quarters or 1 whole, or 1. So let's do that. 1,200 times 4. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0 again. 4 times 2 is 8. And 4 times 2 is 1. So the total cost per year would be $4,800. Give yourself a tick for each one that you got correct. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of this lesson or video. Hopefully by now you guys all know the meanings of the terms numerical, categorical, discrete, and continuous data, can interpret column graphs, line graphs, and pie charts, and can also interpret the data presented in a table. Once again guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys all back online.